So in today's conversation, we'll be looking at how to handle rejection. Or let me say, how to handle no. If I go meet one babe now, and I was telling, okay, maybe we should build something, and she'll be like, she can't see a future in it. So how do you handle it?
Okay. Thank you for that question. First of all, I want to explain what rejection is. Most of the times, rejection is a feeling. It's a feeling of not being accepted, feeling of being put down, feeling of being neglected and all that. So this is what happens when you think someone will accept you or take you in a way you want the person to take you, but the other way, what you get is not exactly what you expected. Yeah. So there are a lot of things you can do to that. First of all, especially when it comes to relationship and you are being rejected, the first thing is that at that moment you have to be courteous and wish them well. Most times you see people when they walk up to somebody and make their intentions known to the person and the person reject them, the same person that has been professing love will begin to say hurtful things because they are being rejected. So that is not the way to handle it. If you have emotional intelligence, you should know that what to do at that time is to be very courteous and wish them well. Then number two thing you do is that you validate your feelings. Don't say I don't feel nothing they happen or whatever. No, don't suppress that feeling. If you need to cry, cry. Yeah, if you need to cry, cry. I'm not saying before the person. Go back to your house. If you have a shoulder to cry on, cry on. Validate your feeling that I really felt hurt. Because when you do that, there's something I believe that tears is the water that washes the heart. Sometimes when you shed tears, it has a way of relieving you of the pain you are feeling. Suppressing it is not going to help you in any way. Psychologically, it's not going to help you. So you validate. Then the next thing you do is look out for the lessons to learn. Now, there may be reasons, and sometimes when people reject you in a relationship, they may give you reasons. Some may not give you, but most times they'll give you a reason. It's because of this, it's because of that. Then you to look at yourself. What is it that I did not do well? Maybe even the way you approach the person, maybe the time you approach the person, maybe the words you use, or
maybe how you
approach the person. Maybe why the person rejected. Maybe you were too fast with it, and all that. Or maybe it's something about your character, your behavior that is making the person like, if I talk too much and you said, I can't really be with somebody that talks too much. Do you understand? So when you reject me, I have to sit down and look for the lessons to learn. Very, very important. Because looking for the lessons to learn will help me to do better next time and open the door for me not to be rejected. As it's, in life we will be rejected some of the time, but at least we are closing some doors of rejection if we actually look out for the lessons to learn.
All right, so I just want to step in there and ask, oftentimes people do not get to know why they were rejected, right? So how do people still maintain their self-esteem? And again, how will the person work on his or herself, knowing fully well, or maybe unknowingly to the person why he was rejected in the first place?
Okay, now it happens sometimes. They will not tell you why they are rejecting you, but one thing is that number one, you should know that this is just one person rejecting you. It's not the whole world.
Wow.
It's more of not being compatible than that you are not good. When we are not compatible does not mean that there's something wrong with me or there's something wrong with you. It's just that these two cannot work. So you should see it like that, and don't take it out of place. Don't be too sensitive to rejection. Then you should have a self-talk. Talk to yourself. Maintain your word. if possible, write down the beautiful things you know about yourself and begin to read them to yourself. You know, that's one of the ways also to handle rejection. Know your worth, know those beautiful things that about yourself, speak to yourself about those things. So it will help beef up your self-worth. So it's very, very important you work on it, because most times when people reject us, it's not really about us, it may be about them. Yeah, because like now, if I have baggage from home and I know I want to tell myself the truth that the way I am now, I cannot really do well in a relationship, it may make me to reject you, because I really want to work on myself. I'm not in a place to go into a relationship now. So that's it.
Okay. The other thing I'm going to ask is that I've listened to quite a number of people, and they'll be like, thank God I broke up the last relationship, and that was how I was able to find you. So is there any good side to rejection?
Yeah, there are. Rejection helps you to grow.
Helps you to grow.
Yes, like I said before, you can know what you were not doing right that may have caused that rejection. Then it will help you to work on it, and by the time you're working on it, you are growing, you are doing better. Then rejection also help you to try other options. Try other options. Maybe before now you are just focusing on this one person, but because you have been rejected, you begin to see other people, and sometimes when you look, you see that, whoa, I don't know that there are people like this. Do you understand? So it opens your eyes and your view, so it can open you up to other options. So, and again, it can help you to actually walk into the right thing or the right person, other good things that has been there in stock for you. So when you are rejected, it's just closing one door and opening another one. Redirection may just be redirecting you to the right thing. I want to talk about facing your fears.
Facing your fears.
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes rejection happens because you are always anticipating that you'll be rejected. So you should bring yourself to this place that you are not anticipating rejection all the time. Maybe it has happened severally. That does not mean that it will keep happening. So you must bring yourself to that point in your life that you are not always anticipating rejection. So you should fight your fears. There are things you don't want to do. There are places you don't want. There are people you don't want to talk to. Try to overcome those fears. It will help you so much. Then another thing is that you need to spend time with people that love you and validate you. It will help you heal at that moment and embark on things that will really make you happy. Whatever is your hobby, whatever you like doing, it's good that at that point you engage in those things because it will help your mental health, it will help you psychologically and otherwise to come out of that rejection. Now, there's another thing about rejection is that sometimes people don't really get rejected. They just perceive that they are rejected. There's what I call perceived rejection. It's not like people rejected you, but you perceive it. Because maybe some people, when they are not emotionally okay, or they are stressed, and you get to them and they kind of reacted, you feel that they are rejecting you. It may not be that at that point they are rejecting you. It may be because of the place where they are at that moment that makes so it can make you to perceive rejection when it is not rejection. And you see, SMS is another problem of perceived rejection. You know, when you write SMS, there is no tone, there's no face, it attached to it. So sometimes when we tend to read SMS, we are the ones that will invoke our own feelings, our own tone to the SMS. So by the time I invoke my own tone, that is a tone of rejection into that SMS, I will feel rejected. Meanwhile, I'm not really rejected.
That's true.
And we can fight against it by not assuming things. Ask questions. try to ask questions, and sometimes make excuses for people. You learn to make excuses for people. Maybe he's not happy today, or maybe she's not in her right mood. Make excuses for people, and then ask questions to know exactly what is happening. Don't assume things.
Okay, so I'm going to come from another angle, whereby you're not the victim, you're the one saying no. So how do you, let me use the word politely, how do you politely say no to a relationship you know you don't want to engage in?
Okay, I think first of all, you should know that there are ways you can do things without bruising another person's ego, or not really stepping on their toes. And I think before you could say no to somebody, you should first of all appreciate the person. Because whether it's a girl or a guy, for somebody to, it takes courage, a lot of courage for somebody to walk up to you to tell you, I really like you, or something like that. So you should appreciate the person. You should also look out for the good qualities in that person and kind of buttress on that point at that time. You should make the person feel good about him or herself first, before you can politely say, at the moment now, I don't think we can work. And if you have your reasons, at that point you can tell the person, because of the timing, or because of I'm just coming out from a toxic relationship, or because of anything. You can tell the person anything that is the reason. But first of all, you politely appreciate the person, point out the good points or the good part of that person. Try to fan the ego of that person. Tell the person how nice he or she is, before you can come up with that is not going to work, and say it in a loving way, with a loving tone, not like you should go and die. So that's a good way of saying it. And even after that moment, you should do some other things that will buttress the fact that I am not really rejecting you, it's just that we are not compatible, by still calling, maybe visiting, or still even sending a gift. Do you understand? Now you are not leading that person on. You already told the person that it's not going to work. But all these ones you are doing is now to make the person feel better, that you are not the problem, or even if you are the problem, you are not that bad. Do you understand? Maybe there is something about you, I don't like the way you do one thing or the other. And when I was telling you, after saying the good parts, and I said, but because of this, I don't think I can work with somebody that is actually given to quick anger. Now, after that, the person, you have told the person the reason, and you tell the person, I'm sorry that it cannot work. Then after that day, you should still call to check up on that person. If you have opportunities to have anything to do with that person, you can do it. You should do it. And if possible, still send that person it's a kind of gift. Do I call it sorry gift? I'm sorry gift. You can get a no in a very nice, loving way, and yet you still will not, receive it in a good way. Now it is no longer the fault of the person that said no. It's not your fault. That's why I always talk about working on your self-worth, knowing who you are. Because when you know who you are, and in fact, you will even be open to criticism. You will want people to tell you what you are not doing well, so that you can work on it and become better. So, and then when people are saying things just to hurt you, you will also know, and you'll be able to overlook it. You know the one that is true and the one that is just to hurt you.
All right, guys, thank you very much for sticking through for yet another powerful episode. If you're still here and you're not a subscriber, I would like you to smash the subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you get notified each time we drop another episode. Thank you very much for sticking through once again. I have a wonderful day.